That would be tax
I
assessor?
believe so, yes.
No, sir, that's part of the clerk's office. Is that an employee that works here?
That is.
What's the question?
Okay, ma'am, you have to preserve that record there
Yeah.
that you're creating. I need a block diagram giving functional subdivisions to inspect, please.
Well, here, want to come here with me? Come here. Let's go. No, I want to show you our assessor's office. Come here.
That's not part of the assessment
Our
office.
clerk is Crystal's right there.
Yeah, and she's not in.
She's mostly not here.
Okay. What, is there a reason for your hostility, ma'am?
Oh, I'm just making sure that everything that you do in here, I'm able to preserve myself.
Okay, well here, let me tell you, since you got your camera here, I am monitoring government to ensure it is being conducted in the public interest.
Okay?
I think what you're doing is some type of intimidation tactic, or it's childish what you're doing.
It's my right, just like it is yours.
What is your name?
Michelle.
Okay, right now you're working for the government, you have a duty. And,
Our clerk here. Here's our clerk's.
Sure,
Here you go, right there.
okay. Is the clerk here?
No.
She's not available, okay. Who's the FOIA officer?
That would be still, is that still Crystal?
No, it's Marilyn.
Okay.
Marilyn, okay. Is the FOIA officer here to speak to?
She is.
She is, yep, I need to speak to a FOIA officer, please.
She's right there.
Oh, are you the designated or designee?
I'm the FOIA officer.
FOIA officer, okay. Ma'am, I need a copy of a block diagram giving functional subdivisions to start with, please.
Okay, could I have you please put that in writing for me?
Because we can't do anything unless it's in writing.
Unfortunately, that's not the case here. These records are supposed to be prominently displayed. Here's the deal, ma'am. By the time I'm finished, keep resetting your video. The deal is, by the time I'm finished, I'm doing an instructional tutorial. I'm doing the duty of the people to monitor government to ensure it is being conducted in the public interest. What I'm doing here for, you guys might not be informed of yet, but when it's all done and over with, the best thing you could do is tell me thank you for bringing this to your attention. And
Thank you.
really
And
about
then
it.
feel free to come back another time and anything that you want. I'm going to give you my card. I'm the supervisor of the township.
I'll take your card.
Oh, please do. And anything you need, hold on, right here. There you go.
Okay.
And
Yeah, that's your card there, right?
Yes.
Okay, great. So here's the thing here, ma'am. You being the FOIA officer, this township right here, where is it prominently displayed, the purpose of this township? Where is that displayed?
right here, here we go. Here is everything that we do right there. Want Spanish or English? This is Spanish. English
Ma'am,
is.
you're very shaky. Is something wrong,
Oh, I just walked in the door.
Mrs. Administrator?
Can you figure out where the English version is? And this is everything that we do is in that brochure, which is publicly displayed for anybody who comes in here to get.
Well, you did hand me this page here, ma'am. My question was, where is this is the Spanish one. I'll wait on the
Yeah.
English copy and see if it does have in there the, thank you, miss. What was your first?
Oh, it's right on that part.
Oh, it is. Sure. Marilyn, no. Okay, ma'am, let's see here. Well, could you point it out to me, because I don't see it here. The young lady, the administrator actually gave me this. My question was if you could show me the purpose of this public body here. She gave me this page here, but the page that she gave me does not show it in there, unless maybe I'm overlooking it and you're able to point it out to me.
Yeah, sure. What do you mean by purpose of this body?
So, yeah,
In this brochure, we have everything that the township provides,
Sure.
different programs, and what different offices in here.
I'll narrow down for you. A brief description of itself, which would include but not limited to a short summary of its purpose. That's what I'm looking for.
It's all right there.
Yeah, like I said, here we have everything like services that we provide, general and emergency assistance. We have our assessor's office, highway department. But
Right.
if there's anything
It-
in particular that you need, if you could just write it out for me, I'll get you that information.
Okay.
There are certain rules that we have to follow as FOIAs that come into our office, and we're more than willing to help you. If you want to write it out right now, we could see if we could take care of it. But we have, how many days do we have to fill in a FOIA?
5 days.
So today,
But this does not, what I'm conveying here does not require 5 days, and here I'm about to read it on your cam. Each public body shall prominently display at each of its administrative or regional offices, make available each of the following. So it's telling us they have to be prominently displayed. You see those images and government publications you got on that bulletin? That's what prominently displayed means, in a way to easily be seen. But now, the actual requirements under FOIA is not prominently displayed, and that's what I'm bringing to your attention.
Okay.
So each of the following, a brief description of itself has to be prominently displayed. A block diagram giving functional subdivisions. The total amount of operating budget. Can you point to me where your total amount of operating budget is prominently displayed?
right here is our budget, right here.
Sure.
And it's predominantly, and it's displayed right here. And as of 3/12/2024, this is our budget right here. And it's displayed on the counter, as you could see.
Okay, ma'am, we'll agree to disagree. My opinion is you did make it available for me, but it was not prominently displayed. We'll agree to
It was
disagree.
on the counter.
Yeah, we'll agree to disagree.
Okay, and it says budget.
Sure. Total amount of operating budget, 2 million, yes. Okay, Mrs. FOIA officer, this is another requirement that has to be prominently displayed, not hidden in a folder, just to make it clear.
Well, we do it and it's labeled.
Okay, moving forward. I don't go back and forth and talk about things that don't have to be talked about, ma'am. I'm straightforward, and in the end, it'll be, say, he's in the right. These folks are in the wrong. The FOIA officer, she seems very cordial and professional, so that's why I don't want to say things like, why have you been collecting your full paycheck for FOIA when you have not been following the laws that FOIA are prescribed? But in the end, sometimes people don't handle their job accordingly to 100% of it. But that's why it's the duty of the people to monitor government to ensure it is being conducted in the public interest. Now, me personally, I'm telling you right now, I could be a special agent working for someone, could be, or I could be just a regular member of the public. I could be either or. I'm not saying if I am or not, but at the end of the day, both of those things are irrelevant. What is the truth is that these records have to be prominently displayed. Moving forward off the budget. The total separate locations of separate offices. Let's say your township has a public works on Johnson Street. And your township has, let's just say it has a fire department on Elm Street. That means what has to be prominently displayed is those addresses as well. Has to be prominently displayed. Moving forward. The approximate number of full-time and part-time employees. This township has 20 full-time and 5 part-time. That single line has to be prominently displayed. The commissions and committees and councils has to be prominently displayed. What else do we got here? And other than that, now we're jumping into section 3.5 says. You remember when she said, oh, it takes 5 days? Sure, FOIA does take 5 days for most of the things to gather records, but with these, they're required to be prominently displayed. I'll wait for that. Whereas, ma'am, if these records were indeed prominently displayed, I wouldn't even have to take up a little bit of your time to bring this to your attention. If these records were prominently displayed, but you got paid to do, I would look at them and there would be no back and forth feedback between the administrator and a member of the public. But now section 4, since she said it takes 5 days, that's incorrect because that's not for everything. Freedom of Information officers under section 3.5 shall develop a list of documents or categories of records that the public body shall immediately disclose upon request. Since this is telling us Freedom of Information officers shall develop a list, I'd like to see that list. That shall be furnished immediately. Can I please see that list? Here's the code if you'd like to read it for yourself. And it says Freedom of Information officers shall develop a list of categories or records of the public body that shall be immediately disclosed upon request.
Well, we appreciate you coming here today.
Sure. That's what you should say instead of being shaky with me with the camera out
So
intimidating.
you have a disconnection notice? on your
Like, what
Wi-Fi?
do you plan on doing? What's your intention on recording this encounter here? For memory or something, or what are you trying to convey?
I don't know yet.
Great. So yes, ma'am, since this is telling us the list shall be developed, you are the FOIA officer, you are the one who's required to develop the list, and it shall be furnished immediately. Can I see that list, please?
I'll have it furnished immediately once I have a chance to develop it.
You have not developed it yet.
Once I get a chance to develop
Sure.
it, I'll make it available immediately.
And can we please have your name?
My name is George.
George, what is your last name?
What do you need a last name for?
Anything else you want here?
Okay.
Yeah.
So,
How much is your water bill?
ma'am, I developed my own checklist.
Mhm.
And what I do when I visit public bodies that are subject to section 140 is I mark off this public body has nothing prominently displayed. I have the ability under section 11, declaratory relief of FOIA, to
Do
forward
you have a survey
my
box?
finding to the Attorney General. I have that right. I don't want to forward this to the Attorney General and say, Avon Township failed to comply with this stuff. No, they have nothing prominently displayed. I'd rather come in here and build allies with our staff in Illinois. So when I do come in office, I'm familiar with all our staff throughout our jurisdictional line.
Definitely.
But now with that being said, ma'am,
What is
do
your
you
address?
believe within 30 days you will have these records prominently displayed? So when I do come back, I'll mark off yes, and I'd rather forward that to make you guys look good to the Attorney General.
Marilyn, don't answer.
Don't
East
answer.
what?
That's your administrators. Okay. Next, moving on, ma'am.
Say that again, I'm sorry? 343 East?
Pursuant to the fundamental philosophy of the American constitutional form of government, it is declared to be the public policy of the state of Illinois that all persons are entitled to full and complete information regarding the affairs of government and the official acts and policies of those who represent them. Such access is necessary to enable the people to fulfill their duties of discussing public issues fully and freely, making informed political judgments, and monitoring government to ensure it is being conducted in the public interest. The General Assembly hereby declares that it is the public policy that the state of Illinois access by all persons to public records promotes transparency and accountability of public bodies at all levels of government. It is a fundamental obligation of the government to operate openly and provide public records as expedient and efficiently as possible with compliance with this act. So now, since she got that on film, we're going into section 9B. Do you recall how many FOIAs you have denied this
Okay.
year? Mrs. FOIA officer?
343 East Springwood Court.
Marilyn, you don't have to answer that because, well, your answer would be simple.
What would the answer be?
your
0.
township will be
Zero?
developed.
No,
Denials?
she's the new FOIA officer. She
Oh.
hasn't done any FOIAs yet.
Okay, well,
So 0.
that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, now ma'am,
I'll give you
maybe
Lake
you
Village
have,
Township
you
number.
told me you're
You ready to write
designated. Maybe you have no FOIA denials because you're brand new according to your administrator.
847
But the actual city hall
356
may have denials.
2116.
So under section 9B
2116.
says copies of all notices of denials
You're welcome. Have a good
shall
day.
be retained
Go back.
by each public body in a single central office file that is open to the public and indexed according to the types of exemptions asserted. To the extent feasible, that's her favorite word, to the extent feasible, right? But now this Avon Township has been established since 1850. Here I come, the first time in history since this place has been open, just to try to build allies and try to have you guys do the right thing. But now with this being said, since this is telling us the single central file is open to the public, I like to view these exemptions that set the retention period from 2019 to 2024. I like to view those records, please.
If you could write that down for me, please. And I will make sure to put that in as a FOIA request.
Okay, again, ma'am, it does not require, I think, though, but it does not require writing, because again, the code does say, notices of all denial shall be retained by each public body in a single central office file that is retained by each public body, and indexed according to exemptions asserted. It's not an issue, ma'am. I would put that in writing at a later time, just kind of giving you the heads up of the language, FOIA language here. And other than that, I guess I'll be filling out one FOIA request, if I could have one of your FOIA forms.
Of course, if you could write it down here.
I sure can. Do you have an actual FOIA form or not at all?
At the moment, I don't have access to it, but if you could write it down there, it would still be.
It would, yeah. There's no
official
standard
FOIA
form, right?
form.
There's no standard form. Now, just to clarify, when you say you don't have access to a FOIA form, what do you mean by that?
If you could just write it down here, and it'll be an official FOIA request.
I understand that. That ain't no issue. I just like to have, the reason why I'm saying that is because I like to have a copy of Avon Township letterhead FOIA, just a blank one. I don't want to fill that one out. But you don't have one of those at the moment?
At the moment, I don't have access to
That's
one.
good. That's good. I think you do have access. You can go online and print one out, but hey, that's neither here nor there. Okay, FOIA requests. Usually I did not want to file any FOIAs, ma'am. I just wanted to receive copies of these records. But since I'm here now, since the code does say these records have to be prominently displayed and also made available as well. Since they're not prominently displayed, are you able to make them available within the 2 minutes that I wait here?
If I could just have you write it down there.
Well, here it is, ma'am. Here's the statute. It's telling us this is what needs to be made available.
Yeah, I definitely see that. I
Sure,
can
yep.
do that.
So if you're able to make those available, I have a seat for a few minutes and I'll walk out with copies of these. And by the time you make them available to me, I'll ask if you got a roll of Scotch tape so you can go ahead and prominently display them on the wall and call it a day. So, do you believe you could make those available in records as required by law? Since they're not prominently displayed and it says you can make them available.
I can try and see what I can do.
Sure, yeah,
but
I'll wait momentarily. There's a statute there, man. It's highlighted under section 4. Meanwhile, I will
Do you
say-
want to contact Jeannie?
Sure. And by the time you do that, ma'am, let me have a seat, file my FOIA.
Definitely.
Thank you. Let me put my stuff back in order.
Right here. I can give you a clipboard.
I do have a clipboard. I do have my own clipboard.
Oh, you do?
Yep, this is my packet here. Okay, Mrs. Avon Township, I believe this is your total budget here.
There you go.
Okay.
Contact Jeannie because you're still new at this.
You have to preserve that public record, ma'am. You cannot discard that public record. The way that I believe that, like, it's like, I don't know, what you believe is, what you're doing is somehow appropriate, but it's not, because you're the administrator, ma'am, of a township government staff, and you did not actually comply with the law by administrating your own staff and making sure that the superior duty is upheld, which is FOIA. It's the highest duty of the government. Because, for example, all the work doing that you have conducted is subject to scrutiny, subject to public disclosure. And it's very healthy for members of the public to check on these things, check balances, to monitor government. And this is what the Freedom of Information is asking for. There was a lot of towns, since you got that video rolling, there was a lot of towns that I visited that were, some employees were belligerent, hostile, they escalated things. They made themselves go viral for the wrong reasons online. A lot of people had redress. But then when I returned to the city hall in 30 days or 6 months later, the employees changed their attitude. They're nice and cordial and compliant. But my question is, why weren't these employees cordial, compliant, and respectful from the first encounter? Why did they have to, as adults, act belligerent and violate their own duties and laws instead of given a chance to listen to what this person is conveying? At the same time, what I'm conveying here today is the duty of the people to make sure. So it's all an educational performance, if you will. I just visited your neighbors here, Round Lake. This is my testimony, you could verify with them. Our neighbors right here. Round Lake City Hall, across the street from the lake. And all staff there were wonderful. They had all these records under Section 4. They developed a binder, and the binder was behind the counter. I walked up to the counter, Michelle greets me, very nice lady. Yes ma'am, I need a copy of a block diagram giving functional subdivision. She says, okay, give me 1 second please. She walks behind the counter, she grabs the packet of information, she hands it to me, she says it's all there. I flipped through it, I said it sure is. But ma'am, I got an issue here. This was not prominently displayed, it was hidden behind the counter. They agreed. Her supervisor, which is I think the sworn clerk, which is also designated FOIA officer, this was 25 minutes ago. Listen to what I was conveying when I pointed out to her that each of the following has to be prominently displayed per code. What she did, ma'am, is she took the 8 pages that have to be prominently displayed, she taped them all up on the wall as to easily be seen. She told me, thank you for bringing this to our attention. Is there anything I can help you here with? We are the representatives at this hall. I said, ma'am, this is all I need. I'll file my FOIA later electronically. But I'm thankful and I'm grateful for you complying with that portion of the law and listening to a member of the public bring that to your attention. You see what I'm saying? They decided to put 8 pieces of paper on the wall, but some towns like Crestwood, Illinois, they had their IT guys or whoever they were prominently display all those records on one large poster. So it's up to you as the administrator how you want to direct your staff on how to do it. You can put up 6 or 9 pages separate, one by one, each of the following, or you could put all that language on one large sheet, but that's totally up to you and your staff. My concern is these records have to be prominently displayed.
Hola.
I have some donations. I was wondering if I can drop them off.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah. Do I just pull up and just
Bring it. Is it closed?
in my car?
Do you need help?
Maybe they're like.
I'll help. Is it right here?
No, I can pull it up really
Okay,
quick.
sounds good.
Okay, so here is your
For your form. Okay, okay.
So if you would like, you could fill that one out, or if you already completed the other one, you could just submit that one note. It will still be official for your request form.
Absolutely. This is a FOIA form, ma'am. How about the remainder of the records? Are you able to make them available for me?
Like I said, right now I just have a FOIA request form, but just give me a second and I'll see what I can do.
Sure, yeah, I'll wait around. There ain't no issue. How long have you been working as an administrator here for Transparent Government?
3 years.
3 years, great. There may be thousands of people that walk through the door after you prominently display the stuff. After you folks prominently display the stuff per code, there may be thousands of people that overlook the memorandum. However, if 1 or 2 or 3 people glance and see this stuff, they would know what rights they have, ma'am. And they will know what type of operation this is. I mean, think about it.
Well, thank you for educating us. How's that? I do appreciate it.
Okay, but that's not how your body language told me, ma'am. It wasn't like that. You see, I'm so professional here and the way that I talk.
I'm not going to get into this with you. I said if you would have come in here without a video camera going, we would have been reading you much differently because you're the one that walked in here. And I'm only doing this to make sure that we know what's going on. And that is our right.
Ma'am, again, you have a duty here. I'm the one who's in the right. You folks are in the wrong. Because if you folks were in the right, the FOIA officer would have those already, have the list developed and have those records already prominently displayed. Do you guys keep track of all that stuff?
Thank you so
Or
much.
like who it goes to and all that?
Please write everything down in a FOIA, and then we'll be able to help you.
Thank you.
Do you believe if I was to,
You too, thank you.
do you believe if I was to review your job description as an administrator, it'll say on your job description to hold your personal cell phone and record a member of the public as they're in here for official business? I know your job description is very extensive, ma'am, and in there it says you have to be able to handle yourself in a variety of circumstances. But nowhere in your job description does it say, waste your time standing here recording a member of the public as he's engaged in his constitutional rights. Just want to put that out there, ma'am. In the Bible it says, man knows not what he does. Man, woman. And maybe you don't realize that it's very important for me to bring this to your attention. But it is the people's duty.
I believe I said thank you.
Well, ma'am, thank you. And then look how straightforward I am. Now I'm talking to the people watching. Look how straightforward I am. I told the FOIA officer, I asked her if she could make these things available for me as I wait. It should take a few minutes. Just to let her know that, no, I don't necessarily want you to make these available for me per se. I want you to make these available for me, sure, so I could have them in my hand and then turn around and ask, do you have some scotch back there? Sure, let's tack these somewhere on the wall. Sure, I'll take a copy of them as well. Volo, Illinois. I don't know if I told you that. Volo is also our neighbor down the street there. Volo, Illinois, I visited about maybe 8 months ago, or about a year ago, somewhere around that time. The clerk, the designated FOIA officer, was performing irrational, and some other guy that worked there, and the other employee. There was about 4 employees. You didn't act like them, but they were out of pocket as far as like turning their back around and saying, no, we don't want to help, just don't put it in FOIA, write it down. They ended up calling a deputy sheriff that was outside. The deputy sheriff was a reasonable man. Deputy sheriff police, he came and he said, how can we help you? I said, yep, this is what I'm here for. I'm checking on this section 4. And he told the employee, why don't you just give him a chance, hear what he's talking about. Listen to what he's talking about. So he was in there trying to facilitate the deputy. One of the employees, deputy clerk or something, came up and she was very rude and hostile. She said, how can I help you, sir? I told her, at this point, ma'am, I need a FOIA form. She went like this. She grabbed the FOIA form, slammed it on the counter in front of my face, took a pen, slammed it in front of my face. She went viral online for that attitude and representation of that corporation. But the thing is that they acted irrational that first visit. Here I come 6 months, a year later, which is today, I visit Volo. The same employees completely changed their attitude. Big smile from ear to ear and said, we have these stuff prominently displayed. Let's wait for this person.
Hi,
Hello.
this is Janie Kirby.
Hi, ma'am.
Hi, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet
You're
you.
not-
Ma'am, I'm monitoring government to ensure it is being conducted in the public interest here.
Okay,
Are you the title, what's your title?
I'm Dr. Jeannie Kirby and I'm a trustee here. How can
Trustee.
I help you?
Okay, ma'am, section 4 requires records to be prominently displayed per FOIA. I'm just coming to see if those records are prominently displayed or not. They're not at the moment, but the young lady FOIA officer is seeing if she could make these records available for me, which also the law requires.
That's right, so why don't you step in the office and let me make sure I know exactly what you're looking for?
That ain't
Let
an
me
issue, that's not an
get-
issue.
Okay, come on in.
Sure. Alrighty. So what I was saying, ma'am, is Volo, Illinois completely changed their attitude, prominently displayed the records, and they told me thank you a year later, after they performed poorly.
Come on in and have a seat.
Sure,
You're
yes,
up
ma'am.
right with me.
Okay. You're not gonna lock me in here and beat me up.
I don't beat up anybody.
No, I'm kidding.
I'm just gonna need to.
Sure, yes, ma'am.
Ask you to switch over here. And your name is, I'm sorry, once again,
George.
George what?
George is good enough, ma'am. I like to also exercise my Fourth Amendment to, try to inform people that we still have a Fourth Amendment right.
And what company are you representing? Are you representing someone?
No, so here's what I'm gonna tell you here, ma'am. I want you to believe whatever you like, that if I represent someone or if I don't at all, let me just tell you, I'm a regular member of the public.
And what do you-
I don't want to hold this.
So, what I'm looking for, ma'am, is these records that have to be prominently displayed on the section 4, sure.
And what document are you referring to here?
Yes, ma'am, can I see that?
Sure.
Okay, one
Then
of,
I'll get that.
one of the records that has to be prominently displayed, also made available, it says here, is a brief description of itself, which will include but not limited to a short summary of its purpose. So a brief description of Avon Township has to be somewhere prominently displayed. That's one of them. A block diagram giving functional subdivisions.
Okay,
Are you familiar with that language?
yes, I am.
Yeah, that's all it is an organizational chart.
Yeah, that's right.
Right.
We've had one. I know we're doing some remodeling because we had a map on the wall, but we're doing some remodeling.
No. Block diagram is not a map. No,
It does show all the districts that we represent.
no. That's just jurisdictional line map. A block diagram, a lot of towns get it confused. But if we think about the words, block diagram giving functional subdivision. So that's all it's telling us is that's a organization chart,
Okay, so,
which is here's what a block diagram is. Here's from our local neighbors here.
your local neighbors?
Yeah, that's another town that we visited. This is from Norwich, actually, not too far away from here, but this is a block diagram. And Mrs. FOIA officer, if you'd like to glance at that.
I'll pass that on to you, but
Sure.
let me go back to your original document. That is
Yeah.
not the entire document, that's only a subset of the document. Can you tell me where you're getting that information
Sure,
from?
yeah. 5/ILCS/140.
Yeah,
That's the entire act. Now the point that I'm looking at is /4.
okay, but is that a document that specifically deals with townships?
No, this deals with all public bodies in the state of Illinois.
So this isn't, you're saying this is a state of Illinois document?
Well, this is a state of Illinois Freedom of Information law. It's a statute.
So you're referring to the Freedom of Information regulations?
No, ma'am. What I'm bringing to your attention is Section 4 of the Freedom of Information Act,
Uh-huh,
which identifies what the regulation of all public bodies have to comply with.
Okay, so,
Yeah.
and this, what I'm here for is to see exactly what you need to do, and if this
Sure.
is a request for that information,
Yes, ma'am.
then I have to get the information that you'd like,
Okay.
and I have to get your name and where to send this information
Okay.
to, and then I'll be happy to share this information, and if there's some in the discovery of this information, if there's some nuance that we are not following, then we will correct that.
Sure.
But, so that's why I need to know, according to the FOIA statute, you need to give me that information of what you'd like, and we have 5 days, unless we need an extension, depending on what exactly you're asking for.
I hear you.
And then we can get you that information with letting you know if there's an extension.
Okay, ma'am, there's a right and there's a wrong. No disrespect, but you folks about that portion is wrong. I'm in the right. This does not take time to gather these records because these records have to be prominently displayed already.
Okay, so
But-
if they're not prominently
Sure,
displayed,
yeah,
and
yeah.
you're saying there's a weakness, then we need a FOIA
course, yes,
information
ma'am.
to explain what you need.
Sure,
and
yes,
explain
ma'am.
how
I
to
get
get
that.
it to you.
And the way I go about doing that, where I got experience with a lot of towns and stuff, I usually tell them, okay, guys, you guys don't have this stuff ready today. Do you believe within 30 days you may have it ready? And staff would tell me, we're going to overlook it. If it's per code, yes, we will. But we'll review it with our council.
Of course.
So that's understandable. What
So-
I do
so
here,
you just need to give me the information
Sure.
that you're looking for.
there it is right there.
You said a brief description of the
Yes, okay, so a brief description of the public body.
public ballot.
Yes, a brief description of itself, which will include but not limited to a short summary of its purpose. Mrs. FOIA officer, would you like to make your own copy of the statute?
That would be great.
Sure. Just pull it out that sleeve when you get to the scanner. Yeah.
And
A block diagram giving functional subdivisions. Organizational chart.
okay,
Total amount of full-time and part-time employees.
that's on the website.
Well, ma'am, this is requiring to have these records at the public body. It also says in section 4, a public body that maintains a website shall also post this information on its website.
Well,
So this is primary.
and there's been some consultation with the attorney's office, but we'll get it. So subdivision,
Okay.
full and
Did you
part-time.
did you go through this training with the
Of
attorney
course.
generals? No, as far as like the seminar they had a few months ago.
Not a few months ago, but when I was the clerk here, I was.
Yeah, you got the completed training
Yes.
certificate. Okay.
Yes.
Total amount of full-time and part-time
I
employees.
got that.
Yep. Total amount of operating budget. Just that single line. What was it? 4 mil.
And you're saying that it's not adequate that we have it on our website, you're saying that the statute says that we have to have it posted.
It is adequate on your website, but that's not all it. It has to be at both
I will
places.
clarify that.
Yes, ma'am. Now think about this logic here, ma'am. This is a beautiful building here funded by tax funds. This is $1 million real estate property. Think about if
I don't think that's,
Okay.
but let's say
Sure.
it is.
$100 grand, whatever it is. But thank you, ma'am, thank you. But think about this logic here, that if a member of the public came into this well-established facility and there's nowhere to be seen in About Us section the purpose of this township, whereas if they were to ask somebody, hey, where's the purpose of this township? I don't see it nowhere on the walls. Staff would tell them it's online. So do you want me to leave this hall and go search for it online? Makes no sense, but this is why.
Okay, and
Yeah.
is that the extent of what you're looking for?
Okay, part-time, full-time employees.
Got that?
Identification of commissions. The identification membership of any board, commission, comma, committee, comma, or council which operate in an advisory capacity relative to the operation of the public body, or which exercises control over its policies and procedure. I think that's the only thing you guys do have prominently displayed. Out there is your minutes and your ordinances and commissions. That may be the only thing I glanced at. Okay, ma'am. Oh yeah, methods on whereby public may request information. So basically that's saying the name of the FOIA officer.
Yeah, that's all
Email.
online.
Yeah, email and
Yeah, and we've been told by our attorney that that's actually the best way to do it and how we should be handling it, but I will have that further conversation with the attorney.
Sure, ma'am. Okay. Well, here again, it says a public body that maintains a website shall also post its information online. Now, go on to section 3.
Also post the information online.
Yes,
Okay.
yeah. So since
Just
it's
what we
telling us-
have it on.
Right, also, yeah. But now, since it is online, do you believe all these are online?
I believe all of these are online.
Okay.
I haven't checked recently, but
So, ma'am, wouldn't it make sense if all these stuff online, young lady here, FOIA officer, could take 2 minutes to print out these 7 documents?
that may be, but we're trying to get you what you wanna do,
Okay.
and so then, when I get this information, how do I get it to you?
No, I'm waiting for 2-3 minutes so I could walk out with copies.
No, we have at least 5 days, 5 business days in order to respond to this.
But not for
Legally.
things that have to be already prominently displayed.
Even if it has to be prominently displayed, if you're requesting this information, we have 5 days.
Ma'am,
So we'll be happy to
Okay.
make sure that you get this
But
if
ma'am,
you give me how to take
sure,
care of that.
but ma'am, if it was prominently displayed, it wouldn't require 5 days.
So
moving
we
forward.
will deal with that.
Sure, moving forward. I just wanted to ask the FOIA officer, ma'am, if it is online, could you do a printout for me while I wait 2 minutes? It's either a yes or no, it don't matter.
I prefer to follow the
Okay.
recommended.
Not an issue. Now, section 3.5, ma'am, same exact code, but the end number is 3.5. Is telling us Freedom of Information officers shall develop a list of documents or categories of records that the public body shall immediately disclose upon request.
With some stipulations.
With whatever you deem is readily available.
Yeah.
Your ordinance book that's 400 pages, that should be thrown out on the counter readily available on that list.
Okay.
Yeah.
Terrific. And so the 3.5 is what do you request?
No, 3.5 is just telling us that the FOIA officer shall develop that list. So you guys look into that at your own time, whatever. And that's all it, ma'am. Section 9B is telling us there has to be a single central file office that is open to the public, which will have all exempt FOIAs that are exempt and indexed according to the exemptions asserted. Yes, ma'am. So that has to be a room that has all those exemptions. I think your retention is 5 years before you get permission to destroy records. So I think that's 2019 to 2024. But this has to be opened, but since it's not open today, I get that. The FOIA that I'm submitting right now is to access that office and view those records. So this to give you guys 5 days to gather and respond to me. And if you need an extension, I'll go ahead and grant you guys an
And do you
extension.
have the entire document that you have that one section that
Would,
you're giving us
sure,
to?
yeah. Would you like to take a copy of
I would
section
like
9B?
the entire document.
The entire FOIA Act?
The entire document that you got, that you're
Okay.
stating those items from.
The entire FOIA Act, ma'am, is 55 pages, but that's not our concern right now. Our concern is with section 9.
Is that the entire document?
Yes, it is.
But it's not 55 pages. that
No,
you
no,
got here.
that's not 55 pages. That's everything except section 7 exemptions. Exemptions are about 30 pages alone. I don't get involved in exemptions.
So once again, there's no reference on this?
Of course
here?
it is. It's right here, ma'am. Section 9, 5 ILCS 140.
I get that that's a section, but no reference on what document this is coming from.
Of course it is. It's right here at the top, ma'am. Presumption. Freedom
General
of-
presumptions, yes.
General provisions,
I know
Freedom
the
of
Freedom of
Information Act.
Information, but I don't know if this is from, something that was put out by, this is just from another agency, or there's no documentation that this is valid for me, other than a code, but I don't even
Yeah.
know if this code
Okay.
is accurate.
Right,
So,
ma'am,
again,
ma'am, there's a
here, I'll
there's
let
a
you
right and a
take
wrong.
question.
Sure.
I'll let you take a copy of that.
There's a right and a wrong. I'm standing in the right. You folks are standing in the wrong. But it's educational. In the near future,
So-
you folks will say he was
So
talking right
how
there.
do I get you this information?
Okay, sure. If you'd like to make a copy of that now.
Are we
Yeah.
making copies for everything?
Just that one page right there with section 9.
You can make that section 9, we'll make sure that you're.
And ma'am, just to clarify where I'm getting this packet from, printout,
Mhm.
is ILGA .gov from the government website under the compiled statutes, really.
Compiled statutes?
Yes, ma'am. That's what ILCS stands for, Illinois Compiled Statutes.
Okay.
And with that, I memorized and I told your administrator the first two paragraphs, which says, "You're a doctor, you're very intelligent. Pursuant to the fundamental philosophy of the American constitutional form of government, it is declared to be the public policy that all persons are entitled to full information regarding the affairs of government and the official acts and policies of those who represent them. Such access is necessary to enable the people to fulfill their duty of discussing public issues fully and freely, making informed political judgments and monitoring government to ensure it is being conducted in the public interest."
So once again, I'd love to give this to you. How do I get in touch with you to get this information
Yes, ma'am.
to you?
I did include my contact information on my FOIA form here that I will be handing over to you in just 1 second. Here it is. So, ma'am, you did give me your FOIA form. I'm gonna hang on to that to keep a blank copy for my records. But I'll submit a FOIA form on a blank page, which shouldn't be no issue. Under section 3C, there's no standard form required.
No, that's right.
Yep.
That's fine.
Under section 3C.
But every government agency has a form that they.
Not every government agency,
every-
a lot of them do.
Yeah, they all have formalized systems for FOIAs. I've done so many FOIAs in my life.
Yeah.
They all have formalized systems.
You know, if you guys hired me to be a FOIA officer here, I would be fired the next day. And I'll tell you why. If somebody was to ask me for, let's say, credit card statements for 1 year, I'll turn around and send them credit card statements for 10 years because I want to show transparency. But they'll turn around and say,
So you're gonna give me your full contact information.
5 ILCS 140 / 9B. That's really my only request. Oh, well, now I gotta escalate and request that camera there as well. So that would be my request. The administrator, are you her superior?
I serve here for the township. We don't talk
Okay.
about superiors.
Or supervisor, rather?
She's the supervisor.
Yes, okay. So here. Copy of the entire. My only FOIA request was, really, I did not have any FOIA requests when I first came in, if everything was displayed. But since it's not
I
our
understand
request,
your
yeah,
position. Yeah.
sure. And now since she's recording, I just need a copy of that as well.
I could give that to you before we leave today.
How so?
I'll give it to you on my phone. Well, we could transfer it.
Well, I'll put the request in writing, ma'am. It ain't no issue.
Okay, but just to let you know, I have no problem giving you everything that I've been recording.
Well, it is a public
Today.
record. It's required, so that's not an issue.
Okay.
Copy of entire video. Produced by Michelle. Miss Doctor, FOIA does not require first name, last name, address. So I'm not gonna include my name George on my FOIA. When the young lady responds to this request, she can put on top, "Dear FOIA requester." When I release these videos online, there's some people out there, they consider themselves trolls, internet trolls. So they would probably reach out to some of the staff here and say, "We hate him, they hate me," for whatever reason it is. And they want to send you an email instructions on how they believe you can contact YouTube to have the video removed. But if you did follow those instructions, that would put this public agency in jeopardy of litigation, because that would be government employees trying to suppress my right of freedom. Another thing I'd like to mention is somebody might call and lie and say they're me, and they want to give you a fake name for you to provide on my FOIA. I'm not providing any name, so don't believe anybody who calls, "Hey, oh yeah, I changed my mind, I want you to include this name on the FOIA." No, here I am, and I'm explaining to you guys, if you guys could address it as "Dear FOIA requester," that's all.
Put down how
Yeah.
I get you the information.
Sure, okay. So copy of entire video produced by, what's the 17th, right? Yeah. Okay, Mrs. FOIA officer, can I have a copy of this single page here? Oh, my email. I put my email here too. For forward over the records. Gmail. So, Mrs. FOIA officer, I put here, I'm requesting 2 records as of today. The first record is, let me narrow it down, from 2019-24. To inspect all denied records for FOIA from 2019 to 2024. That's my first request. My second final request for today, ma'am, is a copy of the video by the administrator. If I could have a press stamp copy dated of this, and I think I'll be all set for today.
So make a copy and just stamp it with the date and just
Sure.
initial. That's all it
Sure.
is. Michelle, what prompted you to start recording this?
When he came in with the camera, I wanted to make sure, camera on, I just walked in the door. I wanted to make sure whatever he was videotaping, that we had the same copy for verification, that the same information, whether someone's gonna post part of a video or a whole video, I thought it was important that we have the full, accurate, whatever occurred, we have it on here.
Terrific, thank you for answering that.
Okay, and doctor, I'd like to clarify, administrator's job description, nowhere in there does it say, hold the camera with your personal phone and record a member as they're engaged in official business. Which,
Thank you for that.
these are officials, and this is my business dealing with these officials. So it's like, I think it's an intimidation tactic, really.
But you were first recording.
Sure, I have the right to record first because, ma'am, again, I'm engaged in a constitutionally protected activity. I'm monitoring government to ensure it's being conducted in public interest. I have that right. This young lady right here from 8 a.m. to 4:30 has a duty. After 4:30, sure, when, enjoying time off of government hour, that's when the rights begin. We're all American citizens, we all have rights. But when the government employee is working during normal business hours, that's not necessarily a right, that's more of a duty. Would you agree with that statement?
I'm not going to agree with that statement,
Okay.
but I appreciate you telling me your opinion. on
Sure,
it.
well, that's why I have to.
So, we'll get this to you, and you did give an email address?
Yes, I did, yes, ma'am.
So we will respond to you
Sure.
in an appropriate way with the email address.
Doctor, do you have a business card on hand?
I do not have a business
Okay.
card. Never had a need for one.
Your first was?
Yet you can reach me through the same
I'll take an email.
the same email for
Sure.
the district, for the township.
All right, so here we go. May 17, 24. The administrator, she did hear what I was conveying, and she said, we'll look into it and thank you for your visit. She did say, we'll look into what you're referring to, and she did tell me thank you for your visit.
Okay, terrific. That's usually how I get both my emails. It comes either
That's
way.
neither here nor there. Okay, all right. I'll wait a copy.
As I
of that.
said, she's a new FOIA officer, and this is why we made sure that we called somebody.
Sure. FOIA officer, she, if she keeps up with that attitude, we're gonna promote her to clerk. She's real great.
We're talking about the young lady that was.
The young
hired?
lady, yep. If she keeps up that great attitude, the people would put in a good word to promote her to deputy clerk before clerk.
Okay, terrific. We'll
Thank
get
you for
this to
coming,
Sure, yeah.
and she'll take care of everything that you need.
She'll hand me a copy. Mrs. Doctor, I thank you so much for facilitating.
Not a problem.
Okay, put that paperwork in order. What type of doctor, if you don't mind me asking, though?
I'm a doctor of education.
Nice. Thank you for your services.
Here's your copy.
Okay.
I had to write the date because the stamp.
Handwrite is
kinda
fine.
just-
Handwrite is fine, guys.
Enjoy your weekend.
Perfect.
Okay,
Thank
likewise.
Goodbye.
Ma'am, did you want me to wait for a copy of that, or you still want me to wait for what you wanted to do?
Actually, I'm recommending that you've got it in the FOIA that we set it up.
That is
together.
not a problem. That is not a
Okay,
problem.
terrific.
All right,
Thank you.
guys.
Have a good day.
Thank you. God bless.